Hello, everybody. It's time to continue the Great Ace Attorney Adventure 2 Resolve. The Squeakquel. Josh is still very small, I forgot.
I just... Make me smaller.
Smaller.
Every time you notice how small I am, make me a little smaller. Make me like 5% smaller. Soon I'll be a single dot.
There we go.
You know, it probably helps if I'm actually looking at the screen share.
Alright.
Small now.
Small now.
On.
Alright. I believe this is just going to start playing
Come on,
from
Discord.
the
You
save
can load
point,
it up.
so... 24th October,
imagine.
11:53 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Ah, the Knight Errant himself! Oh, have you been watching from the gallery, Mr. Sholmes? I've been on the edge of my seat the entire time. I paid for the whole thing, but I've only been using the edge.
I thought that was real dialogue for a second because I looked away. And I was like, what the fuck?
Courtroom trials are fascinating affairs, as a spectator at least. I'm glad you've been enjoying yourself. I have to ask. What on earth is going on? It makes no sense. What's this professor business all about? He doesn't look like any professor I've met before. Who even is he? Ah, of course. You were in Germany already 10 years ago.
Becoming German.
Yeah, you can tell by my impeccable accent.
My impeccable, ever-shifting German accent.
The one that does not shift into French occasionally. Yes, the professor. When I discovered he was the one who had been abducted, a sense of foreboding stirred within me. But who knew the monster would come knocking at your door? My heartfelt sympathies. As it turns out, Lord Van Zeeks is even more intimately tied to this case than any of us realized, isn't he?
Yes. How true.
The one Josh character in this room has spoken.
His great friend from university in the dock.
And now waxwork of the killer who took his esteemed brother's life makes an appearance too. I imagine even the shrewd Mr. Reaper failed to foresee that kick in the teeth. An extraordinary move on your part, my dear fellow, to throw that in front of the man. You make it sound like deliberate. Like, I didn't do it on purpose, I'm just following the clues, man.
I can't help feeling that this professor case is really very puzzling.
Oh yes, in what particular manner?
Well, there's Mr. Drebber, Dr. Scythe, and Lord Van Zeeks. It seems that everybody in the trial has a link to the case somehow. Like fucking DL... whatever. 12?
Yes, DL6.
9? 6.
Yes, in fact I alone am not a member of the set. So that leaves me as an empty set, all alone with no intersection to any other. Excuse me? Whom? Oh, you.
Ah.
Dr. Scythe.
Dracula?
Dracula.
Dr.
Dr. Courtney Scythe, nee Stevens. Good day to you. Hello, Sholmes. That was very French. That was very shrewd of you. I had to reset. What in particular, pray? You requested that 10-year-old autopsy report from Gregson, didn't you? Why would you assume such a thing? Because Gregson told me. Well, he wasn't supposed to do that. Who think it's been 10 years?
Man. Scary lady says, I'm gonna fucking end you if you don't tell me. I'll tell her. It's easy. I'm going to France. I'm out of here.
10 years in the laboratory wielding my scalpel. I smell of nothing but corpses and disinfectant.
You should get outside.
A policeman on the jury had a lot to say about you, as it happens, Dr. Scythe. And I've accused you of being complicit in what happened. Why would you admit that right in front of her? I'm hoping that you'll take the stand and tell the truth about what really happened. That certainly won't be possible. Huh?
I'm going to lie through my teeth.
Lord Van Zieks won't be summoning me as a witness. Lord Strongheart has forbidden it. Why? God damn it. Lord Strongheart. The Pandora's box we're warned
national
about
security.
is the Professor case. Yeah, but we already did that once. We can do it again. But please don't make the mistake of thinking you'll get any information about it out of me.
But attempting to hide from the truth, that's cowardice.
I've always fought crime in the way that I see fit. I have no regrets, none at all. And that's all I came
Not
here
even
to
that
say.
yee-ass haircut.
One regret.
Fucking,
So-
fucking Bayonetta looking ass.
Good day to you. She's got the Gohan single strand of hair thing.
The Superman?
She mentioned it too, this Pandora's box.
She mentioned it too. Gohan from Dragon Ball.
Gohan from Dragon Ball Z.
Whatever does it all mean?
There's really no cause for concern, I assure you. When the trial resumes, the meaning will become all too apparent, whether you'd like it to or not. Huh? Now then, I believe it's almost time. I must make my way back to the public gallery. To the edge of my seat. Awaits. I think maybe you're enjoying yourself a little too much. Ah yes, one word of warning before I go. If in the course of the trial this afternoon you'll perceive even a shadow of doubt about the truth, don't let it out of your sight. Pursue it like a dog with a bone. Like a dog chasing a car.
I wouldn't know what to do, but...
To the bitter end, you understand. Do not falter, whatever may come to pass. Alright, I understand. Thank you. Good. I shall make myself scarce then. I purchased a bar of caramel. It's called Sholmes' caramel. What the fuck? Why does he have his own bar of caramel? I purchased a bar of
Licensing.
caramel earlier. Shall be gnawing at that as you gnaw away at the truth. Why did that have its own graphic? Why is that going to become important later?
Chekhov's caramel.
What did that warning from Mr. Sholmes really mean, I wonder? Especially the bit about whatever may come to pass.
We're going to pass from this mortal realm.
Van Zieks is just gonna shoot us with a gun. Blat blat. It's time for the final
It's
chapter.
time, my Nepalese friend. I have brought my blicky.
If Japan has a hell, I am sending you to it.
Do it. Tell me, do you believe in reincarnation?
I'm determined to find
Become a worm.
the truth. No matter what. See, he says the final chapter, but there's still a lot of shit we don't know about. 24th October, 12:40 p.m., the Old Bailey courtroom. That thing in the middle of the room just jump scared me.
In the name of I guess I'm not trying with the judge today, so just know that.
Counsel for the defense and
prosecution. Are you ready and able to continue? I forgot I had the guy here. Prosecution is ready, my lord.
Yes, my lord. The defense is also ready.
I forgot I have my wine guy here to open my wine.
That's all he does. Don't look into it.
And sometimes he hands me one scroll. As the court is aware, the case under scrutiny began with a damaging incident at the Great Exhibition. Yet we now find ourselves embroiled in the details of a convicted felon who was sent to the gallows a decade ago.
One would think these are unrelated, and yet...
And yes, this trial has certainly defied all expectations. As seems to be the fate of all trials in which this Nipponese is involved, my lord.
Ignoring that.
All right, So
you see Kazuma clench his fist.
Just a little bit, like.
let us begin.
Just a little, like subconsciously he Arthur's.
Let us begin our exploration of the defense's assertion that the Witchwork was cordially involved in this matter. Old Man Rix,
My lord.
are we still awaiting the
Oh,
arrival
yeah.
of Madame Two Spells?
I forgot she was coming.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Not at all. Look behind you. She is in the antechamber as we speak and ready to be summoned.
Very well, bring in the witness.
At once, my lord. Bailiff, show Madame Two Spells to the stand.
Okay. Things are about to become a lot more intense. If Drebber is responsible, as I'm sure he is, it means he must have had an accomplice in Dr. Scythe.
And what connects the pair of them is the waxwork.
Yes, the model of the professor. That's the key to the link between these otherwise unrelated individuals. It's a tenuous link, admittedly, but at present it's all we have to go on. Oh, no.
Hi, is that Shomes? That's Shomes,
I think
right?
so. It looks like him.
It looks like him. Why is she chiseling it though?
I don't know.
That's
That's not what you do with wax.
unless that's
I don't
not
think.
wax, and she's just the fucking one army in a block of marble or something.
Maybe you chisel
State
wax.
your name and occupation for the court, please. I'm sure you can, but I don't think it would work very well. Hold on, let me Google.
French.
Do you chisel wax? Do you? Oh, don't worry, I remember. Chisel wax. This is about using wax to maintain a chisel.
That's sort of the opposite of what we're looking at
I'm
here.
fairly certain that a waxwork would not be chiseled, though. I'm
Not
gonna
with-
bet
not,
on it.
Not with a chisel that size,
Not
once you have this amount of detail already. I think you would use a much smaller chisel if
Yeah.
you were using one at all.
I don't even think you would eat a chisel. I mean, I guess it would work. I've never made a waxwork in 1800s London.
Yeah, me neither.
All right. Bonjour. Baguette. Ach, de triomphe. My name is. Sorry, I immediately went Borat. Oh no, it was my name Jeff. That's what that
My
was.
name's Jeff.
Got fucking possessed by the spirit of. My name Jeff. Oh, I'm about to make a name for myself here. Oh, I should have just done a Bayou accent.
It's not too
That
late,
would have been much
technically.
funnier. Down in the Bayou, New Orleans. My name is Matt. No, see, now I'm just gonna turn into Wright or
Yeah,
Edgeworth.
Edgeworth, yeah. It's too
Fuck.
close.
No. No. No, it's too southern. It's too vaguely southern gentleman.
Sacre bleu.
All right. Sacre bleu. I'm trying to remember how bad French accent works. My name is Madame Esmeralda Two Spells. I am a waxwork artisan. Sacre bleu. Also, my Discord is lagging
Yeah, I
really
noticed that a
bad. I
little
cannot
bit.
see the text yet, so don't. I heard the noise and then nothing happened. And the
Oh, man.
proprietress of the Madame Two Spells Museum of Waxwork.
Alright, I've turned down the frame rate, and we'll see if that fixes it.
You have to pardon me for working as a testifier. My new exhibit must open very soon.
Oh, so he finally gets a statue, does he? Fool, Molo guy. You must decide your loyalties now. Now there are two of them in the world. This is getting out of hand.
Oh my, what expression is she carving in onto that face? A number of days ago, a particular waxwork model was stolen from your museum. Can you confirm this? Oui. I was gonna say oui no matter what, but it did it for me. Excellent. Oui, that is true. At first, we believed it had been kidnapped.
A waxwork model? Kidnapped?
I'm gonna say it again. Oui, my lord. There was a demand for ransom money left behind by the culprit. However, according to what I have just been told outside the courtroom, that was not the true reason. I understand it was utilized as a substitute for the body of a murder victim. At present, that is no more than a conjecture proposed by the defense, who is an idiot and I hate him. This is the victim of the case in question, Mr. Odie Assman. But of course, I know him well. He is part of my odious personages exhibit. I detest to say that is evident, but Mr. Assman does not resemble the professor at all.
Yes, but perhaps their faces are very similar.
What did I just say? Are you suggesting that we should see now the demasked visage of the professor?
Yes.
Yeah? Oh, nice. Well, I don't know why she's doing a little shush noise. Is the key a secret?
Apparently.
I have here the key, but it is strictly forbidden to open the lock. This is absurd.
I agree.
This is
forbidden
stupid.
by whom?
I hate this. Pardon? I don't know what face you've carved onto your fancy figure beneath that mask. But clearly, it won't be that of the actual killer.
Been paid. The man's identity was never made public after all.
But she has the one picture of him. The trial took place in a closed court, and the proceedings were strictly confidential. The condemned man was summarily executed. His identity remains a closely guarded national secret. There is no possible way that the repository of tawdry exhibits could get its hands on that information.
Want to fucking bet?
Do you want to try me, bitch? Oh no, hold
Oh,
on
no,
a
it's
second.
I'm guessing it's like
hold on a second.
Kill Dommage or something. I have no idea.
Yeah, hold on.
I don't know
I'm
French.
gonna guess. I'm not even gonna guess. Why even guess when we have technology? I just gotta hold on, distract them. It's what a shame, first of all, apparently.
Huh, how about that?
Kill the Meg. It's kill the Meg. Kill the Meg. According to Google, anyways. It almost sounds like saying kill the man, but like really fast.
Kill
And a little wrong.
Sacre bleu.
Kill the Meg. Sacre bleu! Make more throat noises? Yeah, I don't want to though. My throat goes through a lot doing the judge already. I've only got so much throat, Mola guy.
Yeah, she said sacre
I'm not
bleu.
even a
No,
go.
I don't think so.
No. It would seem you're unaware of the two spells' principles.
What principles?
The family of spells has always prided itself on sculpting its models à la perfection. Every detail, including the visage, is fashioned with complete fidelity. Et voilà, our principles. Basically, we would never make a waxwork that doesn't look exactly like a person.
Yep, apparently.
There's a well-known legend about the two spells waxworks from the time of the French Revolution. A member of the two spells family is said to have made a waxwork of the queen who was executed. Oui, that is true. It was a century ago now. believe the queen's face was carved in the minutes following her death, actually at the guillotine site. You are correct. The model on display still today is on display still today in the House of Horrors. The House of Horrors. Vtuber will stop at nothing to obtain a face replica of our subjects.
That's kind of fucked up.
Damn me! A somewhat disturbing tenacity of purpose.
Oh, come on, Malagai. There's also the movie Ratatouille.
That's true. I think that's more about France than having come from France, but...
No!
Okay.
Remy is French.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, chef.
It is the only way to obtain a truly lifelike representation of the subject. And it has been my family's secret for a generation.
What part? And also you just told all of us. Do you mean to say that beneath that mask...
Oui, the true visage of the killer is there. This is ludicrous. It's out of the question. Oh, but what if it was... No, because that would be dumb. I'm trying to think of who the professor's going to end up being.
Yeah,
What
right?
if it was Van
What if
Ziek's
it was
brother? He's
Rienosuke
like,
or
oh,
something?"
fuck.
Somehow.
Well, that wouldn't make any sense.
I know, but like...
It's when he was like a toddler.
yeah,
He would have been like 12.
He did it.
You take it off, it's just a mirror. Each of us is the professor. The professor spread terror throughout Great Britain. As a result, the Madame Tussauds special exhibit remains extremely popular even today. The killer emerging from his own grave. It is a sight to behold. You should come.
It's right there. We can all see it.
Yes, but it's not in the. There's a certain je ne sais quoi when you see it in the with the gravestone and stuff. You know. Shut up. You shut up. I'm trying to run a business.
What if his face is just
What
like
if his
that?
face is just like that? It's just a metal mask. Yeah. Sometimes you come out like that. That's how babies work. 1 in every 1 million babies is born with a metal mask. It's crazy.
I think, madame, it would be beneficial to hear your formal testimony on this matter. You will explain every detail of this macabre model and your personal involvement in its creation.
I can't believe what you're telling me. It's macabre.
Macabre.
With pleasure. It's macabre.
Macabre. The Professor Waxwork, witness testimony.
This special exhibit in the House of Horrors is based on a rumor that shocked the society in London. An impression of the visage was taken directly from the corpse, in accordance with Tussauds' family principles.
You fucking dug him up?
I listed the head of the gravedigger and created the molds for the head in the cemetery just before the interment. I hid myself until he gave me a single. I was there for a very long time that night. As dawn approached, I was very worried that I would be discovered.
1 second.
Damn, she a little crazy, huh? Nice.
Yeah, that's what I thought. She was 16 when this happened.
Yeah, she was 16. Yeah, I know. Nuts, isn't it? Damn. Need me a freak like that.
The gravedigger? The man sanctioned this?
I give him a lot of money. Oui, I will do all that is necessary to achieve the true resemblance my family is celebrated for. Nobody else knew, only the gravedigger. What harm did it do, huh? Hold on, my brain froze for a second. So you truly saw it? The face of that monster. Naturally, I was aware at the time that his identity was a secret. But two spells would not be two spells if we did not insist on absolute fidelity to our sculptures. I don't believe this. I don't know why, but my brain really wants to do the fucking Edgeworth voice for Van Zeeks today. I have to stop myself every time he pops up.
I myself have seen the special exhibit at your museum, madame. I get out, isn't that crazy? A truly blood-curdling scene in which the murderer is emerging from his own grave. The scene it depicts was the subject of many rumors in London 10 years ago. I have here a newspaper from the time.
Ah, the Great Stink.
Mr. Drebber's dreadful encounter.
Oh, Assman, he drew the picture. Holy shit.
Ah, there it is. I was like, there's definitely a clue here. But I was like looking at the actual text. This is not the photo. Because the photo, the camera's on his thing.
Right, yeah. I think I just skipped some
But Odie
dialogue.
Assman
Whoopsie. Oh, no, I
drew
didn't.
the picture.
All right.
So was Odie Assman the gravedigger, maybe?
Well,
no, because
it looks like Drebber is holding a shovel.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, but like the gravedigger is a different person than Drebber.
Right.
I think. Because I believe Drebber came later for some unknown reason, right?
Yeah, is there is there a button
Just
that
behind
gets
the
rid of the
prison.
text box? I mean, we'll have this. We'll be able to look at this in a second.
Yeah. Eastern.
Something about a bullet I'm reading too.
A gunshot rang out. Oh, suddenly from behind. It pierced the man's chest, whose breath then stilled. So they immediately shot him again. Bang.
Bang, bang.
I ain't saying he's a... Yeah, finish that sentence, Mullah guy. Finish that sentence so I can finally ban your ass. Finish it. Finish it, Mullah guy. Do it. Type it out, Mullah guy. See if Steven stays my hand then.
I won't. There's slurs you're allowed to use, but not that one.
But I draw the line at. It was the most detailed account of what happened that night, as reported by the eyewitness who saw it.
The 10-year-old article has been entered into the court record.
Man rises from the grave. It's too absurd for words. Okay, but this was a thing that just happened sometimes back then, you know. Right? Like,
yeah, they were really bad at
this wasn't
finding out
it
if
wasn't
people were
common,
actually
but it
dead.
did happen once in a while. The public enjoy absurdity, monsieur. That is why I've reproduced the scene as carefully as possible in my museum.
And it's a waxwork from that exhibit that was stolen some days before the incident at the Great Exhibition, wasn't it?
That is correct. The professor you see before you here. But he ain't messing with no broke dead guy. You coward. you. What's like a cowboy term for it? You yellow-bellied varmint? That's one. What was another one? Chicken shit? I'm trying to think of cowboy insults. I don't know why.
Roast Rosalind.
Liver lily?
That's Lily Livered.
Counsel for the defense. Proceed with the cross-examination.
What's that?
Lily Livered, I
What's
think, is the one I've heard.
Lily livered? Yeah.
This waxwork links Drebber to Dr. Scythe, and there has to be some reason for that, which hasn't yet come to light. But I'll find it. The Rainbow Connection. I'll get to the bottom of what really happened.
I was gonna say that too!
Same brain.
Someday we'll find it.
I'll prove that Dr. Scythe and Drebber were in on this crime together. Yeah, you get him, Ryunosuke.
Someday we'll find it. The
Not
rainbow
real quick.
connection.
Want to see that there newspaper?
The lovers, the dreamers.
ODS. Okay, so yeah. The newly interred professor forced off his grave cover as he clawed free of the earth. The young man who witnessed the scene was on the verge of raising a shriek when in the next second a gunshot rang out suddenly from behind. The bullet pierced the resurrected man's chest, whose breath then stilled once more. So somebody else in the graveyard shot him if this had really happened. Mad sheep rampage.
The horrifying stench that carries on the slightest breeze and lingers in the nostril of every man, woman, and child.
I know.
A great sewer is to be built underfoot.
Is that a thing that really happened? Was London just really stinky?
Probably. Oh yeah,
I
dude.
mean,
People just
definitely.
threw their shit out windows. All cities were stinky in the 1800s. Do you know how they dealt with poo? They just threw it outside.
Krakatoa also erupted. Hold on, can I click anything with this magnifying glass or? No, okay, I can just turn it on or off. So if there's something to spot select
That's what we
later,
can.
it'll be during the thing.
Yeah, they'll be like, tell us where on this newspaper.
And that rumor would be
A 10-year-old tale now, but the ones that no Londoner would ever forget. All right. I know just what you're talking about, I think.
Of course, it couldn't be anything else. Yes, that story will never disappear.
Unlike these cards! He just starts eating them.
Whoosh.
Cities are just stinky in general. True.
Yeah.
And when you put a lot of people together, it gets stinky. That's just how it works. All right. That's humans, baby. We're just full of
Smell
stink.
bad.
We're just smelly little goblins. At the end of the day, who isn't stink? You show me a stinky man, an unstinky man, and I will show you a liar. The tale of the condemned killer rising from the dead. That is the central attraction of my house of horrors. My house of horrors. The rumor was whispered all over the city, and it was like this. It was in
I feel like this is
Gate
gonna go
Cemetery behind the
automatically.
prison in the dead of night after the execution of the killer. You were
Okay,
wrong.
good, it isn't.
The interred professor slid back the stone slab covering his tomb and emerged from his grave. A young man who witnesses felt a scream welling up inside of him. But an instant later, he heard an ear-splitting gunshot from over his shoulder. The bullet struck the emerging corpse, and he fell motionless once more.
Zibole.
Zibole! Zibole! The scream finally found its way from the mouth of the young witness, who turned and ran for his life.
The corpse climbed out of his own grave. You already heard about this, Ryunosuke.
You saw it in the museum, and then somebody shot him. Who was it? Oh. Nobody knows, even today. But remember, it was just a rumor. Perhaps nothing more than a ghost story. The good people of London, they love stories like this.
If you were hiding in the graveyard, did you shoot him?
No.
I mean, she would have at least seen this happen if it really happened, if she was in the graveyard, right?
Do you think I have a gun? No.
No. None.
No. Well, no, again, I'm pretty sure she got the face mask before the corpse went into the grave.
Oh, I see.
So then she
Before
left.
it was buried, yeah.
Like I believe hours probably passed before this then happened.
right.
Is my guess.
No, that makes sense.
It would be
to me.
weird if like she got the plaster and the dude just fucking hucked him in immediately. It was like, I'm done. Corpse is done.
Okay, bye.
That is why it was in every newspaper across the capital.
But was it just a story? I mean, this is exactly the scene that can be seen today at your museum, isn't it?
Oui, the special exhibit was mounted on that very illustration. For a while afterwards, the contents of the article were reproduced in every magazine imaginable. Madam, might I say something?
No.
I was trying to think of a silly word to say as Susato, but my brain actually blanked on silly words. It just said
Can't
corn
find any.
cob, which is two words and not that silly.
Surely you can do better than corn cob.
But truly, I think I'm just thinking about that corn kid in the jury. Please go ahead, mademoiselle. Mademoiselle. When something is described as a rumor, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's entirely made up. I believe that often rumors contain a kernel of truth. Like a corn.
Like on the corn cob.
Like on the corn cob, I see the people from the East can be just as astute as the people of Europe. This is a real Joe Biden saying poor kids can be just as smart as white kids moment.
Oh boy,
I
did he say
can't.
that? No, that's bad.
Yeah.
That was a bad one, Joe.
Yeah. That was like years ago at this point.
Oh boy, Joe.
Yep. Can we be sure, for instance, that the professor's execution was successful? You just have to lend them an ear. It is not possible for the dead to come back to life.
Sorry?
10 years ago, I was there in Lowgate Cemetery. After the criminal known as the professor was killed by hanging, I took a wax impression of his visage from the corpse just before it was interred. So I can assure you, the man was dead.
I see.
How do you know? Did you check for a pulse? Did you give him a little smooch?
Well, if she made an impression of his face, she probably would have noticed if he was breathing.
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe he wasn't breathing very much.
No, there
You
were
don't
these
know.
weird bubbles underneath where his nose was. Very strange.
It would certainly appear that the condemned man suffered the intended fate.
Massage was taken directly from the corpse in accordance with Two Spells family principles. Hold it. Is that true of every waxwork in your museum then?
It is. Assuming the subject is dead, of course. Live subjects have to cooperate in a similar way. I have letters from imprisoned criminals all the time, you know.
What sort of letters?
When my time comes, please make a waxwork of me. Oh, fuck. Hold on.
Me when the French character speaks French.
I don't know how to. I don't know how to generate the C with a little thing. Comme ça?
Probably.
Comme ça? Comme ça. Comme ça. It means like that.
No.
Like the Kendrick Lamar song. And by that I mean Kendrick Lamar was a feature on Like That, which was a Metro Boomin and Future song. My museum is famous, monsieur. To be made into a waxwork is an honor, and for some criminals a symbol of status even.
Because nothing says hardened criminal better than wax.
And it is thanks to one killer in particular that my museum has gained such popularity in London. I'll refer to the star of the special exhibit, of course, the professor. Whose form you claim to have captured by taking an impression from the actual corpse. There are no exceptions to the principles of the two spells.
The aid of the grave.
Do you want to see a waxwork of God? Here's our
Surely that's
waxwork
illegal,
of Jesus,
isn't
and
it?
you just have to stare. Stare at the implication. It would seem the proprietress of this repository of novelties was blinded by monetary greed. It had nothing to do with money. The man is part of London's criminal history. That is why I had to sculpt him, to record this history. It is the raison d'etre of the Two Spells Museum.
But if the man was convicted in a closed court and sent for immediate execution, then surely nobody but the members of the judiciary present know the killer's true identity. Bleh. Ran out of words.
I assure you, behind the mask is hidden the true face of the professor.
Unless, of course, the metal mask has been in any sort of heat.
Au revoir.
Or
Or like if it was dropped from a high place and smooshed.
there are many reasons it could be ruined, but probably not.
There are many reasons it might not be working. Also, Mogar, are you just saying more French terms or are you leaving?
It's unclear.
Because if so, good. Get out!
Get out of here, you.
Get out of here, you stupid animal! Do you realize what you're saying? The professor's identity is a national secret.
Yeah, that's why I'm not opening it.
Mon ami! Mon ami! I
Mon ami.
understand. Mademoiselle.
S'il vous plaît.
And now that the truth about the special exhibit has been revealed, it must perhaps close.
Yeah, probably.
Of course it will, as will your entire museum if you don't tread very carefully, madame.
Omelette du fromage.
Omelette du fromage. Beef! It's just that Play the Concord song. You know the one where they say all the French terms.
Yeah.
Soup du jour. That could be another interesting chapter in the history of my family, I think. Don't you?
So, 10 years ago, on the night of the professor's execution, you took a wax impression of his face from the corpse.
Oui, exactement.
Hid myself till he gave a signal. I was there for a very long time. Hold it! You were there longer than you expected to be.
Exquetement.
Yeah.
Apparently it's exquetement.
That is not how I would have read that word.
Exquetement?
French is a ridiculous
Exquetement?
language.
Exquetement.
A lot of
Wild.
extra letters.
My favorite thing about French is the scene from Futurama where Professor Farnsworth says, "Here's my universal translator. So far, it only translates into an incomprehensible dead language." And a guy goes, "Hello," and then the machine says, "Bonjour." Kills me every time.
It's a good bit.
I had some difficulties in capturing the subject's form correctly. As I removed the mask, the mouth of the cadaver fell open, and I had some problems with the chin.
Dare I ask?
The man had been dead for a short while already. His muscles were relaxing, and consequently his chin would not align itself correctly. Oh dear. What a horrible thought.
That's macabre.
I can't believe what you're telling me. It's macabre. Under normal circumstances, I would have an assistant with me. However, that night I was alone. And as a consequence, I missed my preferred window of time.
What do you mean?
When I take the impression of the visage of a cadaver, I always wait until 3 hours after death.
Why 3 hours? Is that amount of time significant?
It is because of rigor mortis.
A Wrigley Mortis?
I knew Society was going to break out the book. There was a tax on windows. It's the name. You can't convince me French is a real language. Yeah, have you ever seen how they say like 2,222 or whatever? It's the name given to a phenomenon that occurs in recently deceased bodies. As a rule, 3 hours post-death, the muscles in the body begin to stiffen. By approximately 10 hours post-death, the entire body is completely rigid and inflexible. And then from that point, the muscles slowly start to revert to their relaxed state. The effect is often used to estimate the time of death when a body is discovered.
Well, that was an education, if a slightly scary one.
Are you telling me this language that says the number 97 is 420s 10 7? Yeah. Yeah, I am. It's fucked, isn't it? As Mademoiselle says, the rigor mortis commences 3 hours after death, and it starts in the jaw. I see. So that's why you wait. Also, Molly, not only that, but it's one of the few languages where if you don't speak it, the people that speak it tend to get really mad at you. At least in France. I don't think like Quebec people care as much.
Well,
Or-
Quebec people
or
are
people
real
in
dicks
Africa.
about it, is what I've heard. There's
Oh,
a
really?
certain
That
subset
makes sense
of
with Quebec.
the Quebecois.
Well, yeah, those are basically just French people, but outside of France. I wonder if there's people like that in some of those African countries that speak French, like Sierra Leone.
Impossible
I
to
don't
say.
know.
Nobody lives there. We could not check.
Nobody lives in Sierra Leone. My strangest take ever. My weirdest claim. Before that time, the mouth falls open, and it is very difficult to do my work.
Ugh, it's getting hard for me to do my work with all this talk of corpses. I wonder about that information the courts just heard from Madame Two Spells. It's significant, I assume.
It's significant.
The information about rigor mortis that you just shared with us, would you mind including it in your formal testimony? I believe it could be significant, you see.
Of course, I do not mind at all. I can't help feeling that after this latest topic, the atmosphere in the courtroom has become extremely grave.
This is no time for jokes, Mrs. Otto.
Oh, come on! The music paused and everything. It was great. Shut up, Ryunosuke.
Only I'm allowed to make jokes in this courtroom.
Amend your testimony as discussed.
A woman being funny? Hold on, I know I looked this one up last time, but I forgot.
I think it's Bonsu. Maybe. I don't know.
Nope.
I don't know. Wait, I had it wrong
Bien.
last time. I remember that.
Yep. Berensier. Berensier.
Very long time because it was before the onset of rigor mortis. Okay, so that's significant because it means that she was there before he had been dead for 3 hours, right?
Or after.
Or after.
Oh, wait, no,
10.
she's saying it's before.
Before the onset of rigor
Oh,
mortis.
because. So she was there quickly.
Right.
I don't know that that helps us just yet.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything about that.
Just beating a dead horse.
Let's just press first. As dawn approached, how fucking long were you there? You said that dawn was approaching? What was the time of day then, approximately?
I could not say. But when I left the cemetery with my utensils and wax, the morning light was becoming visible.
The execution took place on the June 17th, which had the earliest sunrise of that year.
Why do you have a scroll with that information on it?
I have a scroll for everything, you stupid bastard.
Indeed it did. First light would have been around 4:40 in the morning.
Why do you know that? That really is early.
I have a scroll with everything on it, you bastard.
The fact is, I had very little time, so I finished my work in an hour. It was necessary to complete the impression and bury the body before daybreak, of course. If somebody had discovered me there, it would have been a catastrophe. So I had to early.
Is it me, or does Mr. Sholmes seem to be taking shape more quickly now, too?
So, if she was there right before the crack of dawn, she was there from like 4 to 4:30 or some shit.
Right. From 4...
Couldn't she
yeah.
have? She probably showed up after the guy got shot dead,
Yeah. Had to have
right?
been.
Like
And that would explain
he was
why...
alive. He popped up. Enoch went, "Oh!" Someone shot the guy, and then they sprinted away.
Yeah, so it would have had to have been after that, yeah. I wonder, is what
I
she
didn't
just
read
said
that, by the
particularly
way.
significant? Yes.
Can you go into the chat history?
Yeah.
You certainly appear to go to extraordinary lengths for your work, madame.
There we go.
Madam, those
This is
details
a
about how long it
divination
took you to
tool.
complete the sculpture in the early sunrise, could you include them in your testimony? I believe they may be significant.
Of course, if you would like me to.
Yeah, it's actually just an Elder Scroll Mala guy. It holds any information he needs.
You're quite right, Mr. Narhado. It is intriguing. A sunrise at 4 in the morning would be absolutely unimaginable at home, wouldn't it?
That's not quite what I meant by significant.
You're too close to the equator.
Kindly admit your formal testimony then, madame.
With pleasure, my lord.
Finished my work
I
in a
tried
half
to
hour
finish my
before
work
this-
in the half hour before sunrise. Then I left as soon as the corpse was interred.
Okay, so we
So
didn't
yeah, the guy
press
would
any
have
of
been
these.
dead. So the guy got shot at like midnight? No, after midnight. Like at like 1 or 2 a.m.
I'm just gonna press these, because now that I have both of them, I think maybe they'll reference each other. Rigor mortis being the phenomenon you describe whereby the corpse becomes stiff after death. I think you said that it starts at the jaw about 3 hours post-death, is that right? Oh no.
Oui.
I've already forgotten that one. Hold on, it might be in my history.
I know the
first ça.
one is
Oui, c'est ça. C'est ça.
Que sera sera.
Of course, the exact duration depends a little on the season.
I didn't realize a waxwork artisan would be so well versed in the subject.
But almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas.
No. That is only elementary knowledge in the field of legal medicine.
Well, I had no idea about it, but maybe I won't admit to my ignorance about forensic science.
I could ask my father to give you a very simple primer if you like.
I think corpses should be your domain. I'm not good with them.
What an insane thing to see. To say to me. Oh dear. I'll do my very best.
Let me try pressing the other one, see if that gives me anything. Hold it! Did you have reason to believe
Fucking
you might be
Ryunosuke
discovered?
turns to Sasato and goes, "Look, if Madame Two Spells can take a waxwork face imprint of a dead guy at 16. You should be fine with it, Susato.
Do you have reason to believe you might be discovered once the sun came up or something?
I had paid the gravedigger money to keep my little secret, of course. But with the morning light, I knew that the warden from the prison would commence this patrol of the area.
Couldn't you just have paid off the warden too, then?
I had already paid the gravedigger, as I said. You cannot buy the silence of everyone, or the secret is no longer a secret, huh?
That's fair.
Well, sunrise was at 4:40 a.m. that day, which means that it would have been around 4 when you began your sculpting work. Yeah, 4 to 4:30. Then they buried him, which means he died after 1 a.m.
Right.
Which means he was not executed properly, because they
No.
did not hang him at like 2 in the morning.
Yeah, we have his
Wait,
autopsy report,
that must
don't
be
we?
correct.
We do. We can look at that in a second.
Please, that must be correct. That would be when the gravedigger gave me the signal to come out of hiding.
Okay.
She's actually the most normal French person. Yeah, and she's
That's all
hot.
I have to
Molo
go
guy.
on.
Have you considered? Have you thought about this?
You thought about this? Have you heard about this?
What's your
Witches, huh?
feeling, Mr. Naruto?
For some reason, Dr. Scythe went along with
Witches,
Trevor's
huh?
plan. Now, if that's really true, then Professor is the only thing we know of that links the pair of them. So I feel sure that waxwork must be a clue to this mystery somehow.
In that case, we must use this cross-examination to uncover exactly what it means. Otherwise, the jurors are sure to revert their leanings and the trial will be over.
I agree. But interestingly, uncovering what the professor has to do with all of this means more to Lord Van Zeeks than anyone. That's the impression I'm getting anyway.
Yes, as do I.
After all, he has a profound connection to the professor as well. Alright, so autopsy report. We have that. Hanged at midnight.
Yeah, midnight, yeah. So, he wasn't, though. Because if he had been hanged at midnight, rigor mortis would have already set in.
Right. And I bet Van Zeeks is gonna go like, ah, but it's not exact.
How does the... So how do they want us to do this?
I imagine they want us to present the autopsy report on one of these two
Present the
statements.
autopsy? On one of them, yeah. That would make sense to me.
Objection.
The music stopped. That's a good sign. Madam Two Spells.
That's a good sign.
I have here an autopsy report that was filed 10 years ago now. It confirms the death of the professor following his execution at the gallows.
And is that a problem? A
His
problem?
size too small.
A
No, it's a
problem?
normal hat. I'm just have a huge head. I believe it is, because your testimony and a particular detail in the report completely contradict one another.
What?
So I'm gonna go with qua.
What? How are you going to explain yourself, my Nepalese friend?
No, he slams his briefcase shut and walks out of the courtroom.
It is actually Qua. Nice.
According to her testimony, Madame Two Spells was creating a wax impression just before dawn, and at that time, rigor mortis had not yet set in. Am I correct so far, madam?
You are? Yeah. Oh, you are, oui. As I said, the stiffening of the jaw is the first sign of rigor mortis, 2 to 3 hours after death. But the man's chin was limp, so he cannot have been dead for a long time.
But on the other hand, if you look at Dr. Scythe's report, it quite clearly states the following. Death by hanging confirmed at midnight, 17th June.
No.
If the professor indeed died at midnight that day, then by the time you were sculpting his face, rigor mortis would be already have set in.
Oui. Yes, you're right. The chin, it would have been completely stiff.
In other words, this report is wrong.
Objection!
No coroner makes mistakes when recording the time of death. The very idea is absurd.
In that case, there's only one possible conclusion. The execution didn't actually take place at the stated time.
Impossible! Blade! Dramatically flails.
Order, order! Council, this is beyond folly. Not only do you indict the author of the report, Dr. Scythe, but you also implicate members of the staff at Barclay Prison where the execution took place.
Extraordinary!
Ah, heck. Not in my day! My learned friend appears to have overlooked one very crucial fact.
What fact?
I throw a wine glass at him. The professor died that night, without question. He did, of course he did. I moved the man's limp jaw with my own
Objection.
hands. There was no...
Yes, the professor died that night. But what if he didn't die at the
being
gallows?
Didn't die at the... Are you insane? What? What exactly are you suggesting did happen in that case?
It's almost impossible to believe, but it would explain the link between Dr. Scythe, the professor, and that one
Yeah.
other person of interest.
Yeah.
I have evidence that will explain exactly what I'm suggesting happened that night.
Council, present this evidence at once. Evidence allegedly explains what really happened the night of the professor's execution.
This? I mean, I don't
This
know how
picture. Maybe...
because this was a sketch.
It's gotta be
made.
that.
Like, he had to have been there for this.
I mean, we don't... I mean, it's not even that deep. We're just presenting this to show that he got shot, right?
Yes, and that information's in the article
At this
as well.
point.
Yes.
And then we'll go further.
What happened that night is written very plainly in this newspaper article. Executed criminal
Maybe they're
returns
using
in the
dead
dead of night at
savings.
local cemetery.
You're suggesting it was a corpse coming back from the dead now.
Well,
Corpses
if
aren't
this article is
alive
to
and
be-
can't drink blood.
Well, if this article is to be believed, yes. The professor, assumed dead following his execution, emerged from his grave and was killed again.
Objection!
Don't be a fool. That's simply a rumor published by the Gutter Press.
Can you be certain of that?
You serious?
The point is, as the article says, there was a witness to what happened.
People die when they're killed.
My word. Yes, indeed.
Ah, hold on. Maize Wai. Portuguese.
Whoa, no.
Oh, there it is. Mewi. It's just Mewi. Mewi, which just means but yes.
But of
Really?
course.
The young man who stole into the cemetery by chance that night.
Objection!
Of course there was a witness. The story didn't write itself, but obviously the man made it all up. Zeke's is heated.
Remember that case? It was 10 years ago now. There'd surely be no hope of finding him.
Do you guys? I guess
I
they
say,
don't know.
Not having looked at anything.
On the contrary, my lord, we all know this witness well.
What?
I guess for once this is information that Ryunosuke has seen that everyone else doesn't already know.
Apparently, no one looked at the newspaper as it was entered into the court record.
No.
My suggestion, Council, you identified the person in question. Do you know who claims to have seen these honorable, incredible events take place?
Yes, my lord. In fact, you could say that he's right here before my very eyes.
Damn, dude. I just finally looked at the actual stream, and I am small now.
It's quite small.
Look at that. Fuck yeah. Yeah. I want to be small enough that I can fit inside the O of Josh. And you just
see that you just see it wiggle once in a while, and you're like, what the fuck?
Do some Saturday your latest claim now, then, Counsel. Who is this alleged witness of this staggering scene from the cemetery 10 years ago?
It's me.
It was me.
I was there.
Take that. The man in question is Mr. Enoch Drebber.
Trevor.
The previous witness?
The special exhibit in the House of Horrors at Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxwork recreates that decade-old scene in great detail. The condemned criminal emerging from the grave, and beside the tomb, a young man with a lantern stumbling upon the terrifying sight.
Oh, it was
that
on
young
purpose,
man.
smaller guy.
Is a 10-year younger Mr. Enoch Drebber.
I like that owl in the background. What happened, Molo guy, was like at some point to fit during web fishing, I believe, to
Yep.
fit everyone's PNGs on the screen. They're like, oh, now I gotta fit Josh on there, and I was like, just make me small, just make me small. And now they keep forgetting to make me big between streams, and every time they bring it up, I say, make me smaller. Actually, make me smaller, make me stinkier. What was the first thing?
It was just order.
It.
Oh, order. Surely not, Counsel.
Trevor was there in Lowgate Cemetery.
What is this all this talk about Mr. Drebber? Is the name significant?
Of course, Madame Tuspels doesn't know, does she? Yes, it's extremely significant, madam. To your situation as well, in fact.
What situation?
The theft of the Professor
You
Waxwork
could
from
fit
your
him
museum.
inside your mouth. Yes. Oh, I know! Get back, you bastard! I saw that on the stream! I saw that!
The theft of the
You can't
Professor
hide from me!
Waxwork from your museum some days ago was perpetuated by the very same man.
I've never felt so scared. No! No!
But that would mean
Madam Tuspels. It would appear you know the name. Enoch Drebber.
we are not. But from long ago in the past.
What?
Oh my.
We must find that.
You know what just popped into my head?
Good gracious.
You know what just popped in my head? The clips from very important person or people or whatever the show is called on Dropout, where it's Jacob and Kimia, but they're dressed as those like goofy French, like they decided on French and they're just doing like bad French accents. That just popped in my head with all this bad French I've been doing. It's excellent. When they're just like, do you hug soft or hard?
Not seen them. I've been thinking about getting a Dropout subscription. just to
Explain
give myself
yourself.
some stuff to watch. It's all very good, I know.
My brother gave me his login info that I was playing. I see you doing it again. What the fuck? Hold
No.
on.
Huh?
Hold on a moment. Every time I look over.
No.
What?
That's
I
ridiculous.
feel like I'm in like a Disney Channel movie. That'd be crazy. My brother gave me his login info, but I have not actually seen if it works. I assume the Dropout didn't decide to do all of the like gatekeeping stuff that Netflix has to do. but
Probably not.
We'll see. But they do have a lot of really good shows. The only downside is I still don't like watching people play D&D. Otherwise, I'd watch all this Dimension 20 stuff. But
Yeah.
I just don't like watching people play D&D, and it really pisses. Have you ever had something where you like don't like something and it pisses you off because you want to like it, but you just don't? That happens
that's,
to
like,
me sometimes, and
sometimes.
one of them is watching people play D&D. What do you think Josh tastes like?
Metal.
I know. Wait, do you mean me, Josh, or the metal ball? Because that tastes like zinc, probably.
Yeah, tastes like
I'm
tastes
probably
like
pretty
eating a
tangy.
battery. You know when you put a
Yeah, you ever
battery in your
licked
mouth?
a battery? Nah. Speaking of licking batteries, Steven, have you ever seen or heard of popular felt-based comedian Randy Feltface?
I've heard.
He's an
I've
Australian puppet.
not
He's
watched any of
incredible.
this stuff. I've seen like bits, I think.
You should watch it sometime. It's all very good, and he's got a thing in one of his more recent shows about licking a 9-volt battery. He's like, whenever I see someone with a vape pen, I take out a 9-volt battery and begin licking it. Explain yourself. Tell us. Wait.
Whoa.
Wait. Boy, explain yourself. Tell us everything you know. These voices are making my brain soup. We of course.
You know, you can only keep track of so many.
Man was not meant to change bad accents so much.
The stories of young man is a terrible sight he witnessed in the cemetery 10 years ago.
I read that fast in case it was going to autoplay.
Yeah.
Was published in every single newspaper in London and throughout Great Britain. However, in all of the articles, the witness was simply described as a certain young man. No details were published about his identity. His name was never revealed.
It says Enoch Drebber right there.
Yeah, it says Mr. Drebber's dreadful encounter.
Yeah,
So
and it says his
I
name
don't
in the
know.
actual article.
I don't know why
part.
she's lying. Yeah, it even says that he's in university.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That is, apart from in one news.
Oh,
Okay.
well, I guess
There's
we're
one
the
more
assholes.
sentence. Yeah, it's on us, I guess.
That is, apart from in one newspaper. The one I handed to you, I saw you look at. I saw you pull it out in the middle of my story. The Daily Circus.
A great name for a newspaper, by the way.
It is a paper that comes with the article I've already shown the court.
You're saying that his full name was only publicized in that article?
Goodness me, yes, here it is. Charles Darwin,
The university student who experienced a shocking event is
Mr. Enoch Drebber, a disciple of maths of science at the University of London, a resident of its student dorms.
Unbelievable. I also didn't notice this, I guess.
When I read the article, I went to meet this man. His discovery of the condemned criminal coming back to life in the cemetery in the dead of night would make a perfect exhibit for my House of Horrors, whether it was truth or not.
Do you see why I said Charles Darwin, though? Because he's got
he got it.
pretty clever, you know? Yeah, you got it.
Proudly,
Do you know Charles Darwin? I think, unless this was just a false fact I've misremembered, but I'm pretty sure he ate, like, all the animals he cataloged, basically. Like, he would, like, document them and then fucking eat one of them. Just like clockwork.
That's
Which I
incredible.
hope is
it's
true, because it's fucking awesome. Hold on. I've got to figure this. Did Charles Darwin
Eat birds.
eat the animals he discovered? Britannica. He was part of a club dedicated to eating unusual food, like hawks and owls. His voyages on the Beagle afforded him many more exotic dining opportunities. He ate pumas, iguanas, armadillos, giant tortoises, and a 20-pound rodent he described as the best meat I have ever tasted. Yeah, Charles Darwin was a freak, dude. He was just going around eating the animals. It's awesome. I mean, like, what an absolute crazy and amazing thing to do.
I see. So you went to meet Mr. Trevor in order to scope the waxwork of the man, did you?
Oui, I had to kill him first.
Oh man, I've already forgotten this one. It's like
Something
exactement,
like that.
something like that.
He was studying science at the University of London in those days. He was just a poor student. And I was apparently a very wealthy 16-year-old. I paid him £5 to muzzle for the waxwork. And since that time, it has been in my museum to recreate the horror of the terror from the cemetery.
Remember when this was about Professor Hairbrand?
Yeah.
Now we've got an entire coffin in the fucking middle.
So, 10 years ago, a young man appealed to the public about an extraordinary event he'd witnessed. A criminal who had been put to death, re-emerging from his grave in the middle of the night. The public treated his claim as nothing more than an amusing anecdote that was soon forgotten. 10 years later, the same man steals a waxwork model of the executed criminal, ostensibly to use as a body double for the victim in the case we're discussing here today. Even though the waxwork's build is a poor match for the victim, and its face is obscured by a mask. But the question is, why would the man do such a thing? Which brings us to 3 days ago when the birdcage crashed into the Crystal Tower. If the birdcage had in fact contained not the body of Mr. Assman, but the same waxwork, the coroner from Scotland Yard who investigated, Dr. Scythe, would have noticed immediately that the man didn't have, like, blood or skin.
That he was made of wax. My god, this man is made of wax.
And yet she submitted this autopsy report for the victim, which the court has seen earlier. Why?
Because the waxwork was that of the professor. Is that what you're saying?
Dr. Scythe put her name to a document confirming the death of a condemned criminal who was still alive. A criminal whose apparent resurrection was witnessed by Mr. Drebber. But that misconduct was a deadly secret the coroner would do anything to protect. Which is precisely why Mr. Drebber used that particular waxwork as the body double. That makes a lot of sense and was something I hadn't considered, that it was just blackmail. My lord, this court must summon Dr. Scythe to the stand. The defense is determined
Yeah, the blackmail.
to find out exactly
yeah,
how the coroner and
makes
Mr.
sense.
Drebber are connected. Ooh,
Ugh.
a lot of wind-up in the music there.
But according to the missive I received this morning through the prosecutor's office, Dr. Scythe is unable to participate in these proceedings. Is that not the case?
Fuck it, I'll do it.
She told us so herself, didn't she?
Lord Van Zeeks won't be summoning me as a witness. Lord Strongheart has forbidden it. Lord Strongheart? The Pandora's box you were warned about is the Professor case. But please don't make the mistake of thinking you'll get any information of it about me, of...
What? What? Huh?
Something happened on the night of that killer's execution 10 years ago.
Something happened to you 5 minutes ago.
And surely nobody would want to get to the bottom of that more than Lord Van Zeeks.
The prosecution calls for the instructions in that missive to be scrapped.
Oh, fuck yeah, Zeeks, let's go.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say he's definitely gonna be like, fuck that shit. Who killed my brother and why was he not dead? What the fuck?
But Lord Van Zeeks, that missive was issued from the Lord Chief Justice's office.
The assigned prosecutor has the final say on policy in any particular trial. In other words, me.
Yes!
Let Enoch Trevor and Dr. Scythe both take the stand together. Bam Two Spell's just like,
Can I go now? This is getting weird. I do not like this.
Very well. I will uphold your request. Bailiff, send a subpoena with immediate effect addressed to Dr. Scythe, the forensic investigation team. Whom is compelled to attend on Her Majesty's orders.
All right then, Enoch Drebber and Dr. Scythe. If they weren't colluding with one another, this crime could never have been committed. I'm just a stone's throw away. I can feel it. The truth behind all of this is about to come out. Does Bruno
the
Mars
truth to
is
Bruno
gay?
Mars. Yeah!
Oh, nope, she's still here.
Nope, she's saying it.
I do not understand why I'm here. This is weird. These are some crazy cats you've brought in.
Thank you for your attendance at such short notice, Dr. Scythe.
I'm disappointed in you, Lord Van Zeeks. You've completely betrayed the wrong accent. You've completely betrayed the agreed policy of both Scotland Yard and the prosecutor's office.
Did you know that twin snakes motif is just like wrong? Because like they're trying to do like the staff of fucking that one guy, but they did the other one because it's supposed to be one snake.
Ah, that's incredible. And the two snakes is the
Like the
I can't remember the name
caduceus
of the
staff?
Caduceus, that's the one.
Yeah, because like, it was something where it was like, yeah, it's the rod of Asclepius. The rod of Asclepius is one staff, a staff with one snake, which was used by Asclepius, which was the deity of healing. The caduceus staff with the two snakes and the wings was Hermes, who had nothing to do with medicine.
Oops.
He was like wisdom, trade, deception, thievery. I guess he was technically alchemy.
Oops.
Critics say the correct symbol for medicine is the rod of Asclepius, which only has one snake and no wings.
Yeah, but
That's a fun thing to know, isn't it?
yeah, but like the two snakes is cooler.
That's just your opinion, man. I think one snake. Aren't you a big fan of asymmetry? Bitch.
Generally.
Yeah, bitch. Betrayal is not in my Betrayal is not in my nature as long as the truth isn't compromised. If it is, if there's even a hint of wrongdoing, then no matter whom it concerns or disgruntles, I will pursue the matter to the bitter end, as would any prosecutor worth his salt. So I'm
Mr.
saying is her
Drebber.
dumb little necktie thing incorrect.
You took the victim's
I mean,
life by
actual
means of...
healthcare places do use the caduceus staff, so it's like it
Yeah.
doesn't. It like it has become a symbol of medicine, you know. But
Yeah, you know.
yeah,
You took the victim's life by means of a machine that you constructed in your workshop. And Dr. Scythe, as the investigating coroner, you were the first on the scene to examine the victim's body. It is the belief of the defense that you collaborated with each other and were both complicit in this crime. And where's your evidence? At present, we have no definitive evidence, but we do have a very significant clue. What are you talking about? I'm talking, of course, about the waxwork. This model of the killer known as the Professor, who was sentenced to death 10 years ago. You don't need to tell me. I was fucking there. I witnessed the man's execution with my own eyes, and officially pronounced him dead. That remains to be seen. Is that so? According to newspaper reports from the time, on the night following his execution, the killer came back to life. Tch, don't waste my time. And the sole witness to that mysterious event was you, Mr. Drebber, wasn't it? I hope you're not expecting him to answer you. I don't think he's going to. If what you saw in the graveyard that night 10 years ago wasn't some chilling fiction, but reality, it would make you privy to a very great secret of Dr. Scythe's. A secret so profound it could compel the coroner to agree to collaborate in your evil scheme, in fact.
Beep boop.
Mr. Drebber, tell the court. Tell everyone the truth of what you saw that night in Lowgate Cemetery.
No. I would rather
No, he was just so
explode.
never saw it. You can see the resemblance, actually, can't you? It's the man with the man of two spells, I mean. Surely he's not going to claim that's really what he saw, especially not after all these years. He was a research student at the University of London, was he? And a bit too clever for his own good, if you ask me.
Cat. What an interesting twist.
Eh?
When at the time, not one person would take me seriously. Yet now here we are, 10 years later, and suddenly my story matters. And in a court of law, too.
Forgot how much wiggling he does.
Yeah, he's so jittery. Very well, then, if everyone so wishes. Let's be frank. I'll buy a hot dog stand. I'll tell you the truth of what happened that night, for what it's worth.
Well, this seems awkward.
So, Mr. Drebber, full testimony, please, about the events of that night 10 years ago. You'll tell the court exactly what you stumbled across in Lowgate Cemetery.
Yes, of course. As you wish. Beep boop.
Witness testimony. In the cemetery 10 years earlier.
The reason I was in Lowgate Cemetery at all 10 years ago was for a spot of moonlighting, shall we say. He was definitely robbing graves. Yes, the illustration in that newspaper article was based on what I witnessed that night. But thinking back now, I realize that I never actually saw the professor. Soon afterwards, I was visited by a young woman who sculpted a model of me from wax. Then I gave up on my dream of becoming a scientist, and it was all because of that newspaper article. Oh, that's why he wanted revenge. Because Odie Assman was the one who name-dropped him in the circus, the Daily Circus.
Yeah, it was.
And that's
if he
ruined
wasn't
his
only,
credibility.
what if he was actually like the journalist and not just the guy who drew it?
Yeah. I mean, it's something along those lines. That, like, Odie
Right.
Assman was clearly the one who, like, name-dropped him, right?
Right.
Must have been.
Ruined
Because
his
we were
whole
looking
shit.
for a motive. That's probably the motive then, right?
Could be. That makes sense to me. Wait a minute. You're claiming you didn't actually see the professor now?
Of course, you'd have to have a screw loose if you believed a corpse could come back from the dead.
But so you're saying this article is
Not worth the paper it's printed on. I think that would describe it perfectly, yes.
ah?
If the details in the article aren't true, it nullifies the argument for why Mr. Drebber and Dr. Scythe would have been working together.
Though he's discrediting himself to cripple my argument.
Tell me, witness. You claim to have been in the cemetery on some auxiliary business. Can you elaborate?
What is the
No.
statute of limitations on robbing graves? That's right, grave robbing, to be precise. As you know, Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison. So among students at the university, it had a reputation for being haunted by ghosts of condemned convicts.
Grave robbing, you say?
Yes, exhuming fresh corpses to sell is reasonably lucrative.
That is a thing they did a lot back in those days.
Oh yeah, you can do a lot with a corpse.
A lot of people like sold them to universities to use as like cadavers for research.
Yup. Of course, I never laid a finger on any valuables buried with the dead. Doubt. So, you were one of the so-called resurrectionists. A particularly unpleasant scourge on society. Actually, my fellows and I went by another name. The Repurposers.
Yeah, sure, man.
That's quite beyond the pale. You wouldn't fight divine retribution, sir.
Maybe
Yes,
if I believe in God.
God is dead, and we killed him. I think I suffered retribution enough. The Daily Circus eventually unearthed my name and put it in print. It caused me a great many headaches. In the end, I had to leave the university. That was the only paper with the bad grace to identify me unambiguously, I might add.
I see.
Out of interest, who drew the illustration for this article? It's not signed in the bottom right corner. I can't see a signature on here at all. In fact, even if I squint with my vampiric eyes, I'm not a vampire. Yes, that was the reporter who exposed me.
There it is.
He sketched that right in front of me as I described the scene. Obviously, as time ticked on, I bitterly regretted what I'd done, claiming to have seen something I never truly saw. Foolish, very foolish.
He did not answer the question.
He did, he just didn't give a name. Who drew this picture? The reporter.
The reporter
Well,
did.
come to the defense. You may proceed with the cross-examination now.
At once, my lord.
Anyways, I started pressing.
Cross-examination. 10 years ago was for a spot of moonlighting, shall we say. By moonlighting, you mean grave robbing, do you?
Surely, you only need to look at the graveyard scene and my appearance to gauge the answer to that. The lantern and spade.
And camera, for some reason. But who on earth would want to buy a dead body? Any major hospital. A hospital? In order to better understand the human body, the study of anatomy is crucial to medical science. But there isn't a hospital in the world that has enough specimens to work with. Though obviously they can't openly express an interest in obtaining more by dubious means.
As aspiring scientists, we young research students had no money to work with, as I'm sure you can imagine. So we made surreptitious arrangements with a hospital via some of our medical student acquaintances. We would never take anything of value from the graves. This was all for the furtherance of science, you see. That's what we all told ourselves every time we stole into the graveyard at night, spade in hand. You realize body snatching is a serious crime. If you were caught, you could expect the gravest of consequences. We students were caught between the hammer and the anvil. We needed funds for research.
Professor Hairbrain said exactly the same.
I'm quite speechless at the apparent levity with which you've revealed this abhorrent behavior.
Well, if you wanted to know why I was there at Lowgate Cemetery, that's the reason.
It's a very powerful frown he's got going on in this one.
Yeah, I know, right? He looks like a Muppet. It's crazy. But I never expected it to end the way it did. That I regret to this day.
Illustration on newspaper orders based on what I witnessed that day. Hold it! A strange happening at Lowgate Cemetery, which you now deny.
Not entirely. I ran to fetch the police. At the time, you know, I was shaking like a leaf. But they didn't believe a word of it. In fact, I was very nearly arrested myself.
For the grave robbing, I assume. So you went to the papers instead.
I started big with the London news, but unsurprisingly, they didn't want to know either. In the end, though, it was reporters from the gossip rags, the gutter press, that came to get my story. And it spread like the plague through the capital as gossip-hungry Londoners lapped up the tale. The story was in every single paper at the time, with the exception of some broadsheets. And yet, only 2 or 3 of them actually interviewed me personally. Most of the accounts turned out to be very interpretive ghost stories.
What about the article in the Daily Circus?
That particular journalist found me at my dormitory. I don't know how, but he discovered my name. So I recounted to him exactly what happened that night.
And from your description, he drew this illustration.
Precisely. That's how I learned that the condemned man was the infamous professor. Because the reporter told me so. I had no idea myself, you see. Newspaper reporters are wont to snoop around in matters that don't concern them.
It's sort of their whole
That's
job.
their job. What do you mean? What do you mean, Van Zeeks? So the scene portrayed in the illustration is accurate.
Hi, I'm a newspaper reporter, and the only thing I report on is stuff that happens in my house.
It's only stuff that is my business. What? Well. Hold it.
Hold it. What are you talking about?
I think I explained already, didn't I? Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison. So it was renowned amongst us students. Among us? Students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts. For some absurd reason, I was scared of the graveyard at night. And as a result, only too willing to believe that nonsense about the dead coming back to life.
But you said you actually saw it.
I said what I'd seen in my mind's eye. After all, resurrection is impossible, isn't it? You'd have to be unhinged to think otherwise. Unless, of course, you have some evidence that proves I encountered the professor that night.
Not
We
right
don't
now.
have the photo yet.
I don't know. Is there any material evidence that could show we really did see the professor?
If we have anything at all, Mr. Naruto.
I know. I need to present it against that irritatingly backtracking statement of his.
The point is, that night was a pivotal moment in my life.
Hold it! That
Oh,
young
hold
woman being Madame Two Spells, of course.
Precisely. I must say, I didn't expect to run into her again like this 10 years later. So I have explained. I went by the name published in the article, and comme ça, I found the man.
Yes, the article in the Daily
Thumbs up.
Circus, I think you said.
I was a poor student with barely a penny to my name at the time. And the young lady put £5 in front of me. So you readily consented to having a waxwork of yourself made and gave permission for it to be put on display. I did. I should sell what little I had to sell, I concluded. I remember now.
The photograph.
I purchased something else from you that day, not so bad.
No.
It was his camera. Did you? I can't say I remember.
What was it, madam?
His camera.
Ah.
Dude, my fucking audio is desynced because of the Discord lag. Hold on
Yeah.
a second.
You want me to stop and start the thing again?
No, I think if I stop and start it might fix it. We'll see. Oh yes, I made a point of taking it with me whenever I made an excursion into any cemetery.
Why?
You took a camera with you, sir? To what end?
To claim he was a bird watcher. To record the details of the bodies I disinterred. But I had no intention of ever visiting a graveyard again after that night, so I sold it.
I see.
But I still have it, monsieur. It is part of the special exhibit in my house of horrors. I'm very meticulous about such details. It is the 2 spells one. It would seem then that this is the very camera Mr. Drebber took with him to Logate Cemetery on the night in question.
Yes, interesting. The details of the camera have been updated in the court record.
And we did still find blood in that camera.
Sure did.
Mustn't forget. Now we know where it was from. It was from the gunshot.
Yeah. Never actually saw the professor at all, though.
How do we get them to give us the photographic print? Do we present the camera on this?
Yeah, because there's no print in the back. We already know that. Photograph plate
Yeah.
goes, I think, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. Isn't it incredible to think that this is the actual... Oh, wait, this is new.
This
Yes,
is-
that's
yeah, I
right.
tried to fast forward.
Isn't it incredible to think that this is the actual camera Mr. Drebber used that night? I certainly never imagined a piece of evidence would be on display in Madame Two spells.
She's very keen on everything being as true to life as possible, though, isn't she?
Should we re-examine the blood?
Yeah.
You click on this thing, yeah. I think it... What a
Okay,
wonderful
this-
machine!
This one is the same.
Yeah, this is all the same thing.
The blood. Okay, so we do already have it. When the lens extended, dark staining can be seen on the bellows.
We guess we could try to just prevent this? Present this?
No, not fam.
Nope. Damn. We need to
Right.
figure out our next inroad.
Yeah. We never pressed the last one. Maybe there's something in there.
Oh, I see. There's something here.
This article, you mean? Published in the Daily Circus?
Yes, somebody informed the dean that it was my name that appeared in the article. And carelessly let slip that night after night I was digging up graves.
Oh.
Hardly a model student, you might say. The university's reputation was
Execrably?
execrably defiled.
Execrably?
Execrably
Because
defiled.
I've heard
and I was-
inexorably. I've never actually
No,
spelled
that's
that
that.
word.
No, that's
though.
no, that's inexorable, which is
Oh,
different. There's no
different,
C
yeah,
in
yeah.
inexorable. Yeah. Hold on, I just like learning new words. We're gonna all
Yeah.
learn together.
Knowledge is power.
Crably. I mean, I can tell that means like forever or unerringly. Execrable. That's execrable. Execrable? So
Execrably.
execrably. I don't like saying that.
That's
Deserving
bad
to be
mouthfeel.
execrated.
What? All right, cool.
To declare to be evil or detestable.
Damn.
Execrate. So execrable is the adjective of execrate, which is the verb, which is like to denounce, to detest utterly, to declare to be evil or detestable.
Damn.
Good God.
Powerful language.
That's a lot. I was expelled as a result.
Mon Dieu, I had no idea.
And having been run out of university, you found employment in a somewhat specialist trade.
Maybe. You combine your knowledge of science with the knowledge of stage magic to create various experimental machines intended to demonstrate never-before-seen technology. And you use those deceptive machines to trick the government and private investors into giving you money. Professor Albert Hairbrain was just your latest victim, wasn't he?
This guy's smart. He just doesn't say shit.
Yeah.
Whatever are you talking about? I have no recollection of doing anything of the sort.
What's Drebber up to? Why would he suddenly change his tune and recant his claim?
I wonder if perhaps it's because his circumstances have changed now.
What circumstances?
Well, if he admits to having seen the professor emerging alive from his grave 10 years ago, it will expose a secret in Dr. Sai's past that she would desperately want to hide.
Yes, of course. If Drebber and Dr. Scythe are working together now, then if Drebber were to betray her, there would be no reason for her to continue to cooperate. In that case, there's only one way around it. I'll have to prove he really did see it. Prove he really did see the professor's corpse coming back from the dead as he originally claimed.
Yes, Mr. Naruto, exactly.
Okay, so we must have some evidence because we've pressed everything and gotten no additional evidence. The only thing that updated is the camera. Based on what I witnessed that night. Would that be the camera, maybe?
Maybe.
Because, like, he might have taken a picture and then Odie Ass Man, like, did it based on the picture. Oh, this is the same signature.
It's the
also,
same
so
signature,
we
yeah.
can use that for that, I assume. Just
Proof it's his signature, haha.
Uh-huh.
We just gotta find our
We ever
break
look
in
at this
point
fucking
here.
thing?
I don't think so. You can probably click on the plaque.
There's a little metal plaque here, look. Fostering burgeoning talent for the future of scientific discovery. Seems rather ironic, doesn't it? Oh, that was...
It seems rather ironic, doesn't it?
But clearly Mr. Drebel really was a very talented scientist. That's it. It's the only thing... That's the only thing we have it for. It's to prove he was a scientist.
And this is nothing.
It's just a picture of the guy.
It's gotta be something with the camera, but I just don't know exactly where we would present it, right? Because nothing else would get us an inroad.
I was in for a spot of moonlighting, shall we say.
It's not that, I don't think.
Yeah, because he already admitted to the grave robbing. Like, we know he was doing that. So, this is the thing we have to present something on, I assume. Professor that night. I mean, that's the lie, obviously, but I don't know how we prove it. However, was the young man who witnessed this was on the verge of raising a shriek. I don't know.
I also don't know what the game wants us. Should we try just presenting the article here?
Huh? Ah, there we go. Okay.
Nice! That was a shot in the dark.
It was like, I think so.
Because I was gonna be like,
because
like,
he drew
maybe
it based on what he
maybe
described.
we start here. Because I was like, right. Yeah, because he was like, I never actually saw the professor. I was like, okay, maybe we present the newspaper first to get it started. That's a bit of a weird one. I won't lie. Because even though I said that, I was like, not really expecting it to work.
Now I'm starting to lag.
Yeah, the internet seems to be shitting itself.
Oh, yep, there go my bars. I'm down to 56 kbps. Wow.
Classic Spectrum.
Down to 0.
Can you believe what they charge me a month for this?
Just inexplicably, for no reason at all, down to 0. Whatever. Recording's still working. Sorry, Mr. Drebber, but I don't believe that. Now, the question is the Discord call transmitting at all?
Slight problem. I've got no. Oh, hold on. It's slideshow. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I've disconnected. The internet
screen
seems to be
share
down
is-
entirely.
Really bad.
I've been disconnected from Twitch.
My computer swapped to the 2.4. It says that it's back on the 5G now, so I think it's coming back to life. Maybe. I reconnected to the chat room. That's something, right?
Reconnection successful. Twitch is back, baby.
Well, let's just give it a
Okay.
second here.
Yep, my frames are back too. Well, now it says
Okay,
zero
I
dropped
think we might
frames
be
because I
okay
think it
again.
restarted the stream. This is why we take the recording.
Don't believe what?
Your latest claim. You did see the professor on that night 10 years ago.
I can't hear you, by the way.
Hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I'm afraid to leave the call. Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, I could hear you the
Can you
whole
hear me?
time. So I don't know what happened there. That was
Yeah,
weird.
like it just on my end, it just silently went past Ryunosuke, and I went, something's. Oh dear, we seem to be at odds. But I was there, and you were not. I know what I didn't see.
He's a sassy bitch. I like him. The illustration with this article was drawn based upon what you told the journalist that you witnessed. A figure emerging from a tomb, wearing an iron mask.
Yes, when the killer was tried 10 years ago. The Iron Mask was not public knowledge, huh? It was decided in the closed court's ruling that the man would wear the mask to hide his identity. I guess that's supposed to be how you know
Yeah.
to use the newspaper. Like, oh, they wouldn't know about the mask, but that's like a little.
I don't remember
a
him.
little
I don't remember that
thin.
even being
We
mentioned.
They never specifically bring up that the mask. I feel like they could have just had that as a side thing. Like, it was a closed case and they chose to put a mask on him or something.
They
You
could
know,
have mentioned that at any point.
it wasn't.
Maybe they
to be
did forever
removed,
ago and
even.
we forgot.
No, I don't think they ever drew an exact attention to it. I think it was a bit more of an inference thing, which is why it was a little weird.
Yeah.
It wasn't to be removed even during his execution and subsequent burying.
Not even the prison wardens were to see the man's face. But obviously, the provision of this mask was not public knowledge.
So, Mr. Drebber, as you've just heard... Whoa. He moved so fast. A lowly student of the University of London certainly wouldn't have known about the condemned man's mask. So unless you'd actually seen the professor that night, it's inconceivable that the artist would have included the mask in that illustration.
Well, Mr. Drebber,
The fucking way that Two Spells stands is exactly the way that I stand.
It's a vile scene, isn't it? If you look closely. And as I've already been at pains to point out, I was utterly petrified. Which is why I had it in my head that I'd seen such a blood-curdling sight. But afterwards, I came to my senses and realized that I'd been mistaken.
You're still saying you didn't see it?
If you're stubbornly sticking to that story, witness, then amend your testimony to explain exactly how you think your eyes deceived you. Of course. Only too happy to oblige.
I can't believe he's still not going to concede the point.
What I in fact witnessed was a fellow grave robber at work.
Yeah, okay, sure, man. We can parse that next week, I think.
Next time.
Yes, I saw
Oh,
a fellow
Dragon
grave
Ball
robber
Z.
dragging himself out of one of the graves. He fell in while he was robbing it. Oops.
Don't you hate when that happens, folks? Don't you hate it?
Alright, well, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night. We'll catch you tomorrow for Catherine, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what I wrote down. Bye.
Bye.
Bop, 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 bop.